welcome to the Tuesday night Principal Chiro broadcast from DE Dynamic Essentials and Band of Brothers. I'm Dr. Brian Moriarty, your esteemed MC for tonight's exciting call. And let me hopefully be the last one to wish you a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And now to kick off the year, we've got an incredible speaker coming up here, guys. But let's talk about DE we got coming up, guys. Dynamic Essentials is upon us here. We are just 2 weeks and 2 days away from the big DE meeting in Sarasota, Florida. Why is it in Sarasota in January? Well, we didn't want to get snow in Atlanta like a lot of people are getting right now, but mainly there was a problem with COVID and masks, and they wanted us to wear masks last April, so we moved it to January. So this is our makeup meeting. So we've got a back-to-back Sarasota schedule here. It's Sarasota in January. Just so you know, it's beautiful down here. It's a high of about 80 and sunny every day in sunny Florida, so you'll enjoy the weather we've got here. And then in April, we come back again in Sarasota in April. And there we go. Thanks, Kat. And then in August, we're back up in Atlanta. And then October, we're back in Atlanta. But we want to really talk about this one coming up here, guys, because we're just 2 weeks away from the big January 20th big DE celebration here, guys. If you haven't made plans, there's still time. We got some incredible speakers. I know everybody's looking for the schedule and asking about that, but we do have some powerhouses coming. We've got confirmed Dr. Steve Judson, Dr. Brian Lieberman, Dr. Eddie Martinez, Dr. Paula Hedgelon, Dr. Marilyn Shore, Dr. Walter Sanchez. Got me coming. I don't know what the heck I'm going to do, but the goofball's coming. And we got a lot of surprise guests. So it's going to be great, guys. You do not want to miss this. Make your way. There's still time to get flights, too. It's not like it used to be where you couldn't get a flight 2 weeks out. With Omicron and millions of stupid positive tests every day, the airline industry has to lower prices because nobody feels like traveling. You can pick up a great Omicron rate here. So check it out. Tuesday's a great day to book. We'd love to see you at DE. Come back for the principal. So we got that in a couple of weeks here. Got a couple special prayers we're going to send out today. Our guy, Dr. Andy Harding, who's one of our MCs on this Tuesday night broadcast, has come down with COVID, and he's doing pretty good, but he's had some other challenges I was just made aware of. So Andy Harding, we are praying for you. Everybody, let's pray for Andy and lift him up. He could use our prayers, and we're thinking about you, Andy, in all facets of your life. So for tonight, let's get the party rolling here. This guy needs really no introduction, but Dr. Michael O'Halloran is a longtime DE speaker and attendee. I would say he's the best thing to ever come out of New York Chiropractic College, but last time I said that, people were really offended. So Mike, you're not the best thing to come out of New York Chiropractic College. You're still a great thing, but there's a lot of great things that apparently have come out of New York Chiropractic College that people have made me aware of. He rules Massapequa, New York, with his amazing, just busting at the seams practice. Discover Chiropractic there in Massapequa, New York. And it's my Irish Catholic buddy, man, and just an incredible guy. We love Mary, his girl there, and he's just resembles the true DE spirit to give, love, and serve. I always love seeing this guy at DE, and what a way to start up the year for the Tuesday night calls than having this guy on. He's usually our January speaker anyway. So from Massapequa, New York, just had a birthday a week ago. Wish him a happy belated birthday too. Give it up for Dr. Michael. Oh, buddy. Oh, Lordy. Oh, baby. Michael O'Halloran. Take it away, brother.
Good evening. I appreciate your beautiful introduction, Brian. And Andy Harding, just to let you know, brother, I'm always thinking of you and all my DE brothers and sisters. It's part of my daily prayer. And most of you guys that know me, pretty much that's what I'm going to talk about tonight. Just my my New Year's resolution that I told all my patients, I said, anybody that sees, I post a scripture a day. So if you're not friends with me on Facebook, do so, not just to hear from me, but I just like to post something every single morning. And it's not for anybody else other than myself, but I just like to share that. And one of the key things I told my patients this year, I said, in the past, people say, Doc, should I eat good? Should I exercise? How often should I go to the gym? What time in the morning should I get up? What I said, this year, I said, uh, for 2022, I said, let's just keep everything success simple. Like, let's have simple success in 2022. And one of the key things to do is I told the patients, I said, look, get adjusted once a week, okay? And spend 30 minutes a morning with God, or a day or afternoon, whenever you want to do it. I'm a morning guy, so I enjoy it more in the morning. And I just keep it as simple as that. So I said, if you can just spend 30 minutes a day with God, whether you want to call it meditation, whatever you want to call it, that's just up to you. But it's the key I see that's created so many incredible things in the last, well, actually today it's 5 years since we're in our new office. And I just remembered that today I was in the office doing some things with Mary and my former office manager who comes in and helps us out a lot. So we were in there today. When I was driving home, I was like, wow, it's 5 years ago today. And I didn't even think about it this morning because I was more focused on just getting connected with the spirit this morning. So as the day goes on and the mental things start to move in, I realize, wow, it's January 4th. I said that. So we moved into the new office 5 years ago today, and we've been blessed. I mean, I've been blessed in April, it'll be 35 years I'm in practice. So I've been blessed for 35 years, but the last 5 has just even been more incredible. And I think it's because of the world of social media. I think it's because of a change in my consciousness. We went from a real big office to a smaller office. So I'm just in the flow of that office the entire time. So anybody that's never seen a picture of my office, my front desk and me are in the same room. Okay. So and all I do is I look at the street in front of my office. And what happens is, so I see the energy of my town. I see the energy of the people walking by. I see the energy of the people looking in the office all the time to see what's happening in there. And number one is, why is it so busy? Number two is, what is this place? Like, I love, they have to step back and they look up to see what the sign says. And they'll be walking in the summertime with ice cream cones. Right now it's hot chocolate season in our town. So they walk by, they can't understand why there's so many kids there. And then what happens is the second thing or third thing or fourth thing, whatever I'm up to, they're kind of asking themselves, like, why isn't everybody masked? Okay. We have in New York State right now a mask mandate. And I'm going to share a little bit about prayer and preparation and how you can change the consciousness of anything. But I've been staying focused. I lost so far 16 patients that have left. And I mean, kids that I've adjusted, families of 4 and 5 that I've adjusted them all since birth. And I lost these families to South Carolina. Some are they were all going to Lakewood Ranch in Florida, wherever that is. And I'm sure it's wonderful, but that's not my philosophy. My philosophy is I was born to take care of the people of Massapequa. So I learned from Sid years ago, and Dr. Williams always taught me, he said, just bloom where you're planted. So wherever you are, that's where you're going to be. And that's the people God's going to send to you. And that's where you want to stay focused. So it breaks my heart to see these families leaving. And they came back, a bunch of them, to visit me for Christmas. The kids sent me videos singing happy birthday from South Carolina for my birthday this past week. Playing the Dr. Mike game, adjusting each other on the floor, even though they go to new chiropractors, and they're wonderful chiropractors, I'm sure they go to, but they haven't lost the energy and the love that they feel at our office. So what happens is in 2022, I tell people, I said, just chill, just calm down. Like, why don't you just get adjusted once a week and just stay in the flow? Just spend time with God every day. Whatever you want to call it. You want to spend time in the spirit. Dr. Sigafus used to call it the great Wonka Tonka, the great spirit, whatever you want to call it. The key is just to start that day or at lunchtime, whenever you're comfortable doing it, and just staying really so connected, because anything you want to do, you can manifest from that place. So when you're in that spirit and you're working with that divine wisdom, is anything you want to do is created. Okay. It'll be created at that point. So what happens is, I tell people, when you pray, we all heard the scripture, when you pray, believe you have received it, it shall be yours. But to me, I always say prayer is a time when I focus. Okay. So if I'm praying, I'm focused on something. What I focus on now ignites that law of attraction that we all know about. Because most people say, Doc, how do you attract these things you want? I said, it's really simple. my prayer is such a focus that I'm going to attract whatever I want. And what I'm going to attract is because that law of attraction realizes whatever I'm looking at and I'm praying for, I believe I'm going to receive, no matter what it is. So I don't have to set up myself with an exercise program. Do I exercise? Yes. Does anything change over 12 months? No. Okay. My routine is the same no matter what. Today I got home, spent some time in the office. I went to the gym this morning. My usual things that I do every day, my off days, I should say, and I'll explain that in a sec. And then what happens is go by my mom, spend time with her. On the way home, I said, you know what? I said, it's nice out. I said, I'm going to go for a bike ride and go see the sunset. We moved back in March, Mary and myself, to a magnificent waterfront community. So I said, I'm going to bike down to the Bayfront Beach. And Mary's like, you're crazy. And I looked at my phone and I looked at the temperature and it was 25 degrees. So I said, 25 degrees, I'm going to have to start wearing a coat. Like I usually just always wear a down vest because I like to have my arms free in case I get in a fist fight. Only teasing. I just like to have my arms free at all times just to keep myself able to adjust, whatever you want to call it. Is I don't like things that are too tight. So I put my jacket on. I even put gloves on today, and I biked down to the Bayfront Beach. And when I got there, I was just like, I looked around. I said, man, it's cold down here. So what became my focus? The cold. So I'm saying it's really freaking cold down here because you're on the Great South Bay. The wind is howling. There's a couple seagulls just hanging out. And they're just like chilling, just looking. That's good in the video. They're challenged and they're looking at me like, well, guy, you don't have to be here. You have a beautiful condo here. Why don't you go stay in your condo and have a nice fire and relax and have a glass of Jameson's Irish whiskey and unwind? They got to live out there. But I said, no, I wanted to go see the sunset because it would clear my mind, get me ready. So I was able to give my talk tonight. And I wanted to come from a place of spirit to start 2022. I didn't want to come from a place of an educated mind. So when I focus, even when I was down there, that prayer causes me to focus to the point I said, God, just whatever words come out of me tonight, let them be your word, not mine. Because I could tell you right now, I have 1, 2, 3 pages of notes here that I won't cover any of it tonight. Anybody that's ever heard me speak at DE, I always bring the notes up. I never get a chance to read them. But the one thing that I've been thinking about the last day or two is just to get people this year, just to be calm. Just relax a little bit. Spend more time in the spiritual world than into the mental world or the physical world. Because one of the things that happens in New York, as most people know, and they have all this stuff with all this virus nonsense and all this stuff, and I haven't really participated in the last 2 pandemics. I'm too busy taking care of folks and taking care of myself, taking care of my family. So I figured, you know what? People are leaving, people are moving, people are relocating, thinking things are going to be better when they go somewhere else. And I pray for them that it is. But I say to myself, you know what? I'm blooming right where I'm planted. I remember Dr. Williams had his clinics burned down 2 years in a row on DE weekend. He didn't move. What do you think he did? He built the clinic a 3rd time. So when you learn from a master like that, I said, you know what, O'Halloran, you're not meant to move anywhere. You're meant to just bloom where you prosper. I said, what I have to do now is through my consciousness is move the people out that I don't want and bring in the people I do. So January 1st, we just swore in a new county executive. Now, the county executive in our town would be the equivalent of what you call, I guess, a mayor in your town, if that's what you have. So our county executive is in charge of everything. He can supersede the governor, but if the governor doesn't like what he or she does, they go to court. Well, I met this gentleman at a couple of these Unmask the Kids rallies because I would go to all the schools. Even though my kids are 29 and 25, I'm still all in. Because the kids that come in my community and the pictures I post of these kids, these are my children. These are the kids. The parents trust me with their baby at a day old, 2 days old, 3 days old, whatever it may be, 6 weeks, 16 years old, 27 years of age. It doesn't matter how old the child is. If parents are going to trust me, I got to be all in. So I would go to these schools and they would set up these rallies to unmask the kids, trying to get the schools to change it. Well, the schools can't do things at their level. Okay. They're controlled by the county. So myself, by praying, created a new county executive who they said couldn't get elected. They said it's impossible. He's a Republican. They're going to bring in this Democrat. They knew who it was going to be. She was going to be reelected. They were going to bring her right back again, the person that was there for the last 4 years, who would be all in by keeping all the same mandates in place. But what happens is when you pray and believe what you expect, you're going to receive. So by 1,000,000 to 1 shot, this gentleman by the name of Blakeman gets in office. The first thing he says on January 1st is, this coming week, I'm going to remove all the mask mandates in Nassau County, including the schools. So this was the first thing I prayed for. I said, you know what? Let's free up these kids. Okay. So that's number one. So now all these folks, my folks that have moved, they're all like, Doc, is that true? I said, well, that's what I've heard so far. I said, you know what? I'm also a person that walks by faith, not by sight. So I believe it's going to manifest. Okay. So that's number one. Number two is I was trying to get the governor out of office. Okay. Through prayer, not wishing anything bad on him. He got himself out of office. Okay. He had to resign because he got himself in some sexual misconduct, whatever you want to call it, but it doesn't even matter. But what happened was the person that took over his spot is probably just as crazy as him because it was his lieutenant governor. So now my focus is I just got to pray now that I get this governor out of office. I already got the county executive out through prayer, and the power of what? Well, they say when two or more are gathered in my name, what happens is he is with you. So what happens is, so I already got rid of the county executive. Now I'm just working on getting a new governor elected who will be a Republican, who will now just turn New York back into the wonderful state that it is. And everybody doesn't have to move to Florida and cause all kinds of traffic jams and start trouble with everybody down there. So that's the focus. So that's the focus of prayer. Now, let me talk a little about chiropractic because that's just a little bit what I created in the last 6 months. This past Wednesday, I have a young first, you know, when somebody comes to your office and like they're like a life or a Sherman student and they're going to be going to DE and they're all excited. And, you know, they always send, he heard me speak at, I think, the DE over the summer and sent his dad to me. So I've been taking care of his dad. And I always say, I said, you know what, when your son comes home, tell him to come spend some time in the office, you know, because I always like people to see it's the same thing that you hear on the platform that you see in somebody's office. So, and so he came in one day to get adjusted with his dad, introduced himself. Nice guy. His name is Ben Farker, and he's a first quarter student in Life College. So he said to me, he said, when can I come in? I said, whenever you want. He goes, that's interesting. I said, why? He goes, because I've been to 2 other DE doctors' offices, and they said they told him what time he came. I said, I know that. I said, you figure out what's your busiest 15 or 20 minutes, and that's when you want the student to come in. So I said, no. I said, you come to my office anytime. I said, it doesn't even matter. So he shows up last Wednesday, and Wednesday morning, I'm driving to work. I get the phone call from Leah, who's my morning person. And she says, Dr. Mike, she says, and she's a doll. She's a 20-year-old kid. But she says, my mom just tested positive for COVID. What should I do? I said, well, I guess you can't work this morning. So I said, so you know what? I said, just go home. And I said, I'll just figure it out. So I go to the office and I said, you know, I'll just work by myself. I said, you know, my philosophy is always I started on my own. I can finish on my own. So what happens is I get in the office Wednesday morning, the day after my birthday, and then the night of my birthday, Mary decided to have a surprise party for me. So it wasn't just like it's a peaceful morning as I normally would have. You know, it was a little thrown off from time wise and stuff, maybe being up a little later than I normally am. So what happens is Ben comes walking in the office in the middle of my 9 o'clock. And like most of you guys, we open at 9 o'clock in the morning, but the folks start getting there at 20 after 8 because everybody wants to be first. I would say if you guys get here at 9:30, there's a 2-minute wait. If you get here at 8:20, there's a 50-minute or 40-minute wait. But so the place is jamming. Who comes walking in but Ben Fark? And I'm like, hey, how you doing? He says, good. He goes, I thought maybe I could spend some time with you today and ask you some questions. I said, well, you can't ask me any questions. You can't talk to me. I said, we're going to be really busy. If you can figure out what I do over the next 150 minutes, okay, because we work 2.5 hours, but if you say minutes, it sounds like it's even quicker. I said, over the next 150 minutes, if you can figure out what I'm doing, you're going to be in good shape in your future. So, of course, that morning we saw probably about 60 patients, a couple new patients, a report of findings. I did everything. From entering computers, collecting money. I did every single thing that would be done in the office, except for I did it solo. So after 150 minutes, everybody leaves, and he looks at me and he goes, that's freaking amazing. He goes, that's amazing. So I said to him, I said, look, I said, you can't learn what I just showed you. I said, but it's in your consciousness now. So once something gets into consciousness, the only way you can change that is if you put a doubt behind your consciousness. And that's a big thing for people to learn tonight. If anything that you've seen, you believe, and you keep it in your consciousness, it'll just continue that way. So this gentleman, Ben, got to see 60 people in the morning in 150 minutes, okay? And left there, he was glowing. You would have thought it was him that adjusted everybody as opposed to me. And so he said, he goes, this is incredible. He goes, would you mind if I come again, to the office? I said, yeah. I said, he goes, what's a good time? I'm like, Ben, I said, this is what we do here. I said, it doesn't change at 9 a.m., doesn't change at 11:30 a.m., it doesn't start when we change at 3:30 again. I said, come during hours. I said, and if I can talk to you, I would love to. I said, there's a good chance I won't be able to after hours, but if you'd like to chat for a few minutes afterwards, we can do that. So Ben had an awesome time. Um, but as far as that blooming, man, wherever you are, like don't change your consciousness. All the time as chiropractors, we tend to think if I exercise more, or maybe if I do this particular diet, or I see the words people use, if I could just push a little harder, if I could train a little harder, if I could crush my goals, all these crazy words. And I said, you know what, for 2022, why don't you just chill out a little bit? Just say, you know what, let me allow, okay? Let me just have my goals just manifest. Whatever it is, if you want a physical goal, just see yourself already with that physical goal. Don't push yourself so hard that you think, you know what, if I got to train in the morning before work, train after work, and that, and I think there's a program everybody was doing for a while that I don't know, it was like the pain in the ass 75 or something about 75. I don't remember exactly what the thing was. And I went online because I said, oh, this must be the new buzz. And I looked at it. I'm like, man, this is exhausted. I said, the only thing I would enjoy is drinking 75 ounces of water a day. I said, the rest of it seemed like a lot of work. But after 35 years of staying in the flow, I've had to stay in good shape for 35 years. I've had to take care of myself for 35 years. I've had to think the right thoughts for 35 years. This April to be 35 years, and people say, Doc, you're going to retire? And I said, I'm already retired. I work 19 hours a week. Like how much more free time do I need? I said, I work 150 minutes in the morning and I work 180 minutes in the afternoon. And when you tell people minutes, they're like, especially the Wall Street guys, they're like, minutes. Jeez, like thinks in minutes. They're working like 20 hours a day. And I said, nah, I work, 150 minutes in the morning and then I do about another 180 in the afternoon. So it's all a consciousness. When you think about something in minutes, it just flies by. Like when we start our afternoon hours at 3:30, the next thing you know, it's 6:30. It's over. It's just a blink of an eye. It's just like that. Because what happens is in the morning when I'm processing all that, I see all that happening. Okay. I come down in the morning and everybody's heard my routine and I, between when I have coffee and what I read and all these other things. But the last thing I do when I go upstairs before I go in the shower is for a half hour. Okay. I go and I just lay flat and I'm real peaceful. It was like odd this morning because I was focusing in the back. We have we butt up to a preserve. So we got pretty cool wildlife, but there was a magnificent red cardinal that was just watching me this morning, looking through the bushes and was watching and watching and watching and watching. So I was like, wow, I said, that's beautiful. It's absolutely, and we see them all the time, but for some reason, this one just caught my eye because it just kept staying in the same spot. So I go upstairs. I said, let me just, start visualizing my day. Even though my visualization today had nothing to do with chiropractic. It was going to the gym, getting a good workout. What was I going to eat today? I got up this morning and I said, you know what? I want to have wild salmon tonight. Mary makes this incredible salmon dish with organic spinach. And I already knew what I wanted to eat because that's what came to me in my visualization was tonight's dinner. So as I looked at the cardinal, then I lay it down and I'm getting ready to do my visualization. All of a sudden, bang, freaking bird hits the window. Okay. And I was so excited that the bird wasn't dead outside the window. Like we have sliding glass doors off for a second story. And this bird hits the window. And all I kept thinking is, whew, my mom said, whenever a bird comes into your consciousness like that, someone dies. So I'm like, oh, so I told Mary the story. She goes, well, someone dies every day. I'm like, all right, I guess that clears it up a little bit for me. But I was like, I don't want to track death the whole day now because I was raised, and this is what happens. Parents tell you something. And here I'm now 62 years of age. Is the bird hit the window and I'm thinking I'm waiting all day long for somebody to call me up and tell me that, well, they wouldn't call me and tell me they died, but somebody's going to tell me something, but nothing manifested. So Mary was right. But now we're going back into being in that flow. So when you look at your life that way, it's almost just like, and it's kind of corny to use that scenario, but it's like a river. So you just get in it. And if you just flow this way and just go nice and slow and just stay with it, okay, just stay with that flow, eat with that flow, exercise with that flow, drink your water with that flow, have those flow thoughts through that consciousness. Don't be so hard on yourself. Don't beat yourself up all the time. I said, all you are today, all the time I tell people this, I said, all you are today is what you thought about yesterday. So if you don't like it today, change the way you think about today. So tonight, before I go to bed, I'll give thanks for the ability to share on the call. I give thanks for my day. I'll give thanks for a good night's sleep. And then tomorrow morning, I've been doing it for 1,000 years and everybody knows the same thing, but it's just what I do every day. As soon as I get up in the morning, I said, this is the day the Lord has made. Let me rejoice and be glad in it. And if I just start with that tone, I'm not fighting. Okay. I'm praying. I'm believing. I got a new county executive. I'm creating a new governor. There's going to be a bunch of new patients tomorrow. I'm not worried about we may have snow on Friday. All the things that people in our society think you can control, you can't. Like, is it going to snow? It's going to be beautiful. It'll be beautiful. We haven't had a nice snow since we moved to our new complex here. So if you can keep that as opposed to trying to force things, push things in 2022 and just allow that flow. Just make sure you spend that 30 minutes in the morning, whoever you want to pray to. I don't care if it's Hashem, you want to pray to Buddha, whoever it is, whoever connects you to that spirit, that's what you want to do. That's what you want to do. You want to stay connected to that spirit to the point where you just say, you know what, get adjusted once a week. Okay. Spend those 30 minutes a day. Make sure when you pray what you focus on. So pray for what you want. Like I tell people, I said, don't like come up with a list and just tell God what you need. Like think seriously about what you want in your life, the practice you want, the health you want, the body you want. You don't have to force it. Too many years people force things. When I look at some of my favorite spiritual mentors that are still here today, really do the same thing I do every day. We're not out of the office a lot. Okay. Okay. We're in the office a lot because that's where we enjoy being. I tell people serving patients is my hobby. I'm not really a big golfer. I don't play golf. I'm not a fisherman. I like to eat fish, but I don't want to catch it. I like to ride my bike, but I'm riding my bike to sunset so I can sit and relax and reconnect with the spirit and watch the sunset. So anything I do really has to do with just keeping me connected to the source. And if you can connect to the source, which you learn at DE, it's the number one principle in the Dynamic Essentials Handbook, to become what? Obedient and aware and humble to that God within. So if you can stay humble and obedient to that God within and bring that to 2022, stay peaceful, get adjusted once a week, relax. When you think about it, like I always think about like Walter Sanchez. Does Walter get up in the morning and start worrying about the day? No, he gets up, he puts his sneakers on, he goes for a run. What I love about Walter, we have a wonderful relationship, is I don't hear from him at DE, of course, we spend some time together, but I don't hear from him during the summer months. He waits till like this Friday. If it snows here, he'll send me a picture of him, running on the beach somewhere in South Beach. Okay. He don't send me a picture of him running in August. He doesn't send me a picture of him running in July. I know he's sitting in the air conditioner and he's floating in his pool. But when you think about someone like Walter, or you think about someone like Paula Hedgelon, okay, these people aren't stressed. They're what? I know them for years. This is what they do. They're flowing in that river. They're flowing in the river. They're usually happiest when they're in their office. Not that they have bad home lives by any means, because you don't have a busy office, or I shouldn't say you could have a busy office and not a happy home life. You don't have a peaceful office. So people like that practice the same way. And so you think about Paula, you think about like a Dana Beccia. He just comes to DE meeting. He sits in the same seat. He's got his pen. He's still taking notes after he's been there like 400 years, Dana Beccia. All right. People like that, you just have to realize is, you know what? Those are the people I always look to and said, did they ever get flustered? I'm sure there's a time when they got flustered somewhere. I just don't see it. I'll tell you a funny story is because I'm kind of like a stalker of the Sanchez family. I know they go on vacation. They always leave like Christmas night. So for like a day and a half, they didn't post anything. So I didn't know where they were going on vacation. So I was so happy when finally I said to Mary, I found Glenda and the family. They're in Sedona. Like I'm in charge of taking care of the family. But I just know after all these years, he's either in the office or on the boat. He's either in the office or with the family. He's either in the office or he takes a vacation, maybe once. I don't even know if he takes a second vacation during the year. I just know Christmas week he goes and he's with his family because now his kids are all off in college. Same thing with Paula. Okay, Paula's going away for a birthday or maybe an anniversary. Other than that, you're going to find her in her office the same hours. Dan, I think he's always in the office unless he's posting a picture of him on his boat telling you that he lives in the most beautiful place in the entire world. And that's what I'll tell you guys. And that's probably what I'm going to close on because it's getting 9:32. It's getting close. Most people don't know, but I can zoom in on it because Mary said, don't move the camera. I'm in my pajamas already. So I'm ready. Proper preparation prevents piss poor performance. I like to go to bed at 10, so I make sure I got my pajamas on already. Tiff Bray was trying to get me before. She wanted me to take my shirt off and put my pajama top on before everybody else got to see it. But I wouldn't do it. Maybe afterwards. So our focus has to be 2022. It has to be one thing. Just think about it. As corny as it sounds, this is what you want your life to be. Just floating like that. It's like just so simple. Don't watch the news. Don't listen to patients. Patients say, Doc, did you hear? I'm like, nope, didn't hear it. Did you know? I'm like, nope, don't know it. I said, you know, I've been busy getting ourselves a new county executive. Now I'm focused on getting a new governor. I said, so I'm kind of busier than hearing about how many people got the head cold or whatever they, you know, now they got the flu rona or something like that. Is so what happens is to close up is just stay with that focus. Okay. When you spend that 30 minutes, okay, stay in such prayer that you realize whatever you're thinking about in those 30 minutes will manifest. What's ever manifested in your life, like right now, like I told you, is what you thought about yesterday. So if you don't have the life exactly where you want it to be, your practice might not be where you want it to be, it's because the way you're thinking. It has nothing to do with your neighborhood. It has nothing to do with the COVID. It has nothing to do with people. It has nothing to do with any of that. We had the same year this year that we had last year. We had the same last year that we had the year before. We consistently just what? We stay in that river. We just flow along. The student from Life University could come in the office anytime. Nothing changes. Okay. If it snows, of course it's going to be a little quieter. All right. Like I'm not going to say, oh, you know, my senior citizens are going to come out at 89 years of age and shovel out to come get their adjustment. They'll just come Monday when the weather's clear. So after doing this for so long, I just realized is if I just stay in that flow, the patients want to be there all through the pandemic. Okay. Every place else was closing. Chiropractors, I know good chiropractors, they were closing their offices. They were concerned about their health, their family's health, their patients' health. I was like, you know what? Dr. Williams taught me to bloom where I'm planted. I'm just going to sit in this office, man. If I see one person, I'm here to see that one person. And that's it. I mean, I'll see that one person. Ben Farker, the student that came from Life University, his life will never be the same if he allows that in his consciousness and keeps it there. The reason is he'll just now always be able to think about that and say, you know what? It was simple. He wasn't doing anything. He wasn't doing anything. As a matter of fact, he was having so much fun. Because when you're in that flow, what happens is people are attracted to the energy of the flow. They're not attracted to the mouth. So if I'm trying to sell them or tell them something that I don't really think they really need to hear, you know what that does? It repulses them and pushes them away. And that's one of the things we don't want to use this year. So what are we talking about this year? We want to make sure that everything is just, it's not going to be hard. It's not going to be tough. We're not going to push. We're not going to train hard and make ourselves crazy and all that other stuff. Just sit back. Just allow it. Okay. Just be godlike, you know, become one with God. Just say, I am. You know, if you want to be 100 a week chiropractor, I am 100 week chiropractor. That's what you see every morning. You just see yourself adjusting those people. And whatever the number is you want to see. If you want to see more new patients or collect more money, that's just all consciousness. So in closing tonight, man, I love you guys. I appreciate you. Is just stay focused. Okay. Stay focused on being peaceful. Stay focused on those 30 minutes. Stay focused on any thought you put in your mind, realizing that tomorrow that thought is going to manifest. So do you want to talk about some kind of silly thing today that you don't want in your life tomorrow? So I love you guys. I appreciate you. God bless you in 2022, and I'll see you soon. Good night. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Michael O'Halloran.
You got
it. Great. Relax, baby. Relax. I love it.
We're chilling.
What a great message, man. Great way to kick off the year, guys. Top that, Dean Satilli.
What happened to our Saturday Night Live meetings, too?
They have a mask mandate in that crazy hotel. Don't worry, we're working on it. We're working
all right.
on it. When we can meet and not all have to wear masks, we'll have you back. Don't
worry.
We
get some vacation out of it. That's the only reason I say it.
Yeah, don't worry. We're working on it. Don't worry. But that was an awesome talk. Paula loved it. Guys, if you loved that talk, put some comments, some likes down there. Mike likes to go back late at night and read all of them and you know.
Maybe in the morning.
Yeah, but put some, oh, look at some great comments here. Look at those, Mike. You really touched a lot of people tonight.
Thank you, Nicole.
That's a long one. You have to read that one later. But you got to get to bed here, so I know. I'll keep it short. But we love and appreciate you, Mike O'Halloran. Great message tonight, man. We're going to relax and have a great 2022. And we love and appreciate you, brother.
Yeah, be blessed.
God bless.